What are the best adult jokes that are hidden in kids' movies? There was an episode of Dexter's Laboratory where the father kept going on about Dexter's mother's muffin, and saying he only married her for her muffin. The whole episode was filled with innuendo. In Robots, the main character and his wife get the parts for their robot child and exclaim, making the babies the fun part. Quote, "There is that one scene from Ratatouille, when Linguini is about to confess about how Remy is in his hat cooking for him, and says, 'I have a little, tiny,' and right after he says tiny, Colette quickly glances down at his pants. I never even noticed it until someone pointed it out to me because it is pretty subtle and can be easy to miss. The word I'm searching for, I can't say, because there's preschool toys present." Quote, Woody. From Toy Story. The entirety of the Scooby-Doo live-action movie. Never forget that Mary Jane is Shaggy's favorite name. In Cars when the two Miata ladies flash their pop-ups at McQueen. I didn't realize for years that that was the connotation. In Coco, everybody laughs when they say Hector died, choking on chorizo. Choking on chorizo is Mexican slang for sucking dick. This is mild, but I never noticed until I watched it a few years ago. In the beginning scenes of Toy Story, Mr. Potato Head uses his own lips to peck his behind with. He does this while talking about Slinky, implying he's a kiss-ass. The fact that there was a brothel in Aladdin and that all the women there knew Aladdin. Foot size doesn't matter, when Anna from Frozen talks about her fiancé. Monster House, that's its uvula. Oh, so it's a girl house. In Shrek talking about Snow White. Although she lives with 7 other men, she's not easy. Quote, gets me every time. Does anyone else remember the movie Osmosis Jones? One of my favorite lines from that movie is, "He's headed for his uvula." Quote, "What the heck is a uvula?" Quote, "It's the little dangly thing in his." Quote, "Got it, takes highway exit towards bladder, bowels. No, it's the one in his throat." Quote, in Lego Batman, Dick Grayson, "My name is Richard, but the other kids call me Dick." Quote, Bruce Wayne, "Yeah, kids can be cruel." Quote, in Matilda, Matilda is trying to talk to her mother, who is talking animatedly on the phone. While Matilda is trying to get her attention, the mom says into the phone, "You should shave yours. It'll change your life." Quote, I love the part in Puss in Boots where they're inventorying his stuff when he goes to jail. "1 bottle of catnip." Quote, it is for my glaucoma." Quote, the scene in SpongeBob where Gary catches him watching Sea Anemone and he quickly changes the channel. https u2b zemu zif jw ryu. Madagascar 2 when the penguins are negotiating a contract with the monkeys and they're all sitting at the table together. Skipper, maternity leave, looks under the table. "You're all males." In Brady Bunch the movie, toward the end the main family wakes up to find the butcher is in their house going through their fridge, but he was clearly in pajamas and was with Alice the maid. And when they ask him what he's doing there he just says, "Oh. Just delivering some meat. I didn't get that till much later in life." Not a movie but a scene in the TV show Good Luck Charlie. The kids make a nice date planned for their parents. The oldest daughter wants them to leave quickly so she goes, "Bye. Have fun." But not too much fun. We already have enough kids. Planet 51. Where the astronaut is naked and one alien says, "That's a really weird place for his antenna." Hey Arnold. Helga talking about how Arnold makes her girl head quiver. That girl is 9 years old. The "sugar honey iced tea" joke in the first Madagascar movie. Fastest man alive. That explains why you can't get a date. In Beauty and the Beast. The Gaston musical number has a part where Gaston says, "And every last inch of me is covered in hair." During this part, you see Gaston wink at the audience. Toy Story 3, No one takes my wife's mouth except for me. Rabbits are good at multiplying, you know. Zootopia. End of Toy Story 2. Jesse calls Buzz cute. He reacts with his wings popping up. My dad's at the pharmacy and my mom's at the movies with her personal trainer, Chowder from Monster House. In Cars, he won a piston cup. Spit take, he did what in his cup? No mention of Rango. I think they're thespians. Thespians. That's illegal in 7 states. Quote, "There's also more obvious stuff like, what's the matter? Missing Mama's mangoes. As a matter of fact I am. But not as much as your daddy's cookin'." Quote. In How the Grinch Stole Christmas there's a scene where the Who's are having a key party. Syndrome in The Incredibles. You married Elastigirl. And got BUSYYYYY. Quote. I LMAO every time I see it. Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat when the cat calls the gardening hoe a dirty hoe, and then proceeds to apologize to it and almost makes out with it. Lego Batman when talking about fighting around. My kids still don't understand that one. Not a movie but in the cartoon The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Billy says he watched his parents' special DVD. Once when I had 7 years I sat down on a banana and that changed my life. Not a movie. But cartoon is The Animaniacs. Fingerprints. Joke. 25+ years later. I will never understand how that was allowed. I don't know if you can consider Pirates of the Caribbean a kids' movie. But when Jack is showing everyone the black spot on his hand, he says, "My eyesight's as good as ever." You know, I'm convinced it's a reference to an old myth that masturbation caused hairy palms and blindness. In Alvin and the Chipmunks Road Chip, Alvin is seated next to John Waters on a plane. Waters gives him a dirty look for some reason and Alvin says, "You can't judge me. I've seen pink flamingos." My 5-year-old couldn't understand why I spit out my beer at that line. I always loved that scene in Uncle Buck when that lady walks in the front door and Buck is fighting with the washing machine. She thinks he's banging some girl on it and then he yells, "I'm gonna put my load in you whether you like it or not." It always makes me chuckle. The compensation joke in Shrek the Blowjob in Road to El Dorado all of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Adventure Time has a lot of hidden gems for adults. The Ice King gives off a real rape vibe in a lot of the episodes. There is this one episode where Princess Bubblegum is being set back to being 13 years old. And the Ice King's first comments is, "Wheel. I'm outta here," and flies away. Bless you Ice King. For at least respecting the age of consent. In SpongeBob there is an entire episode where they go on a panty raid to steal women's underpants. The fact that it made it past the censors still blows my mind. Suck It. I'm not sucking that. Quote, come on suck it. Quote, I don't know where it's been. Quote, it doesn't matter where it's been but where it will take you. Quote, boss baby. Oh no. That's her most favorite piece. If it wasn't, you wouldn't be here. And the Spanish bit from the Goonies. Powerpuff Girls. When the little girl that becomes friends with them tells the professor she was also an accident when explaining how the girls were made. Pinky, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think so, brain. But what would Pippi Longstockings and my kids look like? What are you gonna do, suck me to death? Quote, I think it was the brave little toaster. One of them at least.